Welcome back to BSing with Y Eagle Y, and we have a special guest for you today. It's Dave. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. Uh, Dave has in the U.S. Army 5 years. He works for a private company in manufacturing with 7 years experience in the manufacturing. They get some DoD contracts. He's helping build components for rockets and Starlink. So, Dave, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
All right. Yep. Currently, DoD-wise, we're only doing like disposable parachutes because our company also has a whole fabric division. And we're actually making these giant cargo parachutes. So I guess that was like some ridiculous like $5 million contract. But, well, we'll see how those go. From what I understand, it's not even fabric. It's almost like a yard garbage bag, like thick plastic.
Wow.
But
going cheap, or is that how's it?
It's probably supposed to be disposable, single use kind of shit. Just like, you drop a Humvee, you don't need the parachute after.
No,
the risk of repacking something that large is probably pretty big.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't probably trust it either. I barely trust the ones that you can repack.
Also, we're going to help create environments for fish in the ocean probably with them, Get a little extra plastic in the water.
Like the tires, huh?
Yeah. It creates habitat.
Artificial reefs.
It might not be the best habitat, but it'll help,
Yeah. Yep.
But, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, I never thought I'd be helping produce rocket parts. That was not on my life bingo card, but it's interesting, especially when you get to watch the launches. And you're like, oh, man, I hope it doesn't blow up with my shit on it.
That's funny. No, but, yeah, that's pretty cool, though, when I talked to you a while back and you told me you were doing that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Cool thing to do, man, because you watch these launches and they're, like, amazing, because also re-entry is amazing because they can freaking park themselves.
Catch them now, yeah.
So.
Yep. I don't think we have anything on that specific system. Maybe. I think mainly we're focusing, at least in the SpaceX realm, we're specifically on the Starlink satellites and rockets. That doesn't mean that they're not going to start using those big boys as Starlink platforms. As for like Blue Origin, the Jeff Bezos rockets, we're on like the MK1, the Mark 1 lander for, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's the moon or Mars. One of them, it's a lander of some type. So I know we're dealing with that, and we're doing engine components.
I did hear some talk about going to the moon. Jeff Bezos has been talking about.
Everyone has crazy information on it. Like, people believe we've only been there once, but I'm pretty sure we've actually been there twice.
Or
I'm pretty confident. Or none. Yeah, that's possible. But I don't know. I don't see why we would go to the moon outside of learning more about launching vehicles, landing them on a foreign object, and then getting them back, maybe. I don't know what minerals the moon has. That's the only thing I could see why we're trying to go to the moon and Mars, is we want to mine that shit.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for. It's a desolate landscape.
It'll be like one of those movies. I forget which one, but all of a sudden the moon starts breaking in half because we drilled too deep.
That would be funny. Or if it was like a liquid iron core and it just starts drifting off.
Oh
shit!
They can't retain it.
And the only people they figured could be the best astronauts are oil miners, oil rig workers.
Sounds so much familiar.
Couldn't you just train astronauts on the mining techniques? No, we need miners and train them as astronauts because that's easier.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
We're gonna need Aerosmith playing in the background the whole time.
Oh yeah. And I don't want to miss a thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
his daughter's pretty hot, so whatever. I mean, he does look like a woman.
Yeah. That dude's got one hell of some lips.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, and with Trump, I think during his inauguration, he mentioned something about he's going to make it a priority for the U.S. to go to Mars. I just saw that as thank you for job security because he didn't specify whom. So I'm hoping that, it's going to be Blue Origin, SpaceX, NASA, what's the other one? Something laboratories, Jet Propulsion, JPL, Jet Propulsion Labs. I hope they all get contracts, and I hope they all need parts. Because
keep you in business, right?
Dude, I mean, we're talking a part like this big, it's $16,000. It's wild how much they pay.
Wow. And American made, though. They got to have
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I would almost go as far as saying it's completely American sourced because even our metal, we have to like cert our metal out, and it's all from America. There's not been like a single piece of steel that we get. It's from China. No aluminum from China. None of that. It's all basically from mills here. So that's cool.
Yeah, I remember I spoke to some contractors back then. It's been a few years, but when they were going on a NASA facility, they were inspected like to the fullest, man. Like every pipe had to be stamped USA. Every part, every tool, everything had to be USA.
We're down to the rivet, to the paint, so like we do nut plates, like we'll drill 3 holes on it, and 2 of them are rivets and 1 of them is centered as like a helicoil. They want to know where the rivets are from, where the adhesive that we put around the rivets is from, and we have to get the certification of who made it, when they made it. It's when they started asking for the paint certifications, I was like, holy crap.
Wow, spec sheets for everything.
Yeah, I think one of the packets I made for a part was something like 1,300 pages of just certs. So I'm hoping that's the direction we go because I think everyone's dealt with Chinese pot metal before, and it's not that good.
Dude, like I've seen a few of your videos, just like some of the stuff, but hell, you make me want to go work over there.
It's pretty fun. Like I never thought I would be a quality inspector because I'm terrible at math, and it's been challenging. But I've had to figure out A and B equals C. Well, how the hell do I get C? And I barely passed math in high school, and I'm doing probably trigonometry at this point, just every day, finding true positions and using equations that I've never heard of.
You know what's wild? As you say that, and I was terrible in math, and I don't know if it was the attention, but when I got out of the military, I went to college. I got a degree in computer and electrical engineering. And I was like, there was so much math involved in that. And I'm like wondering to myself, oh, why did I choose that? And I'm like, But heck, I graduated with honors. And I'm in the National Honors Society of the United States. So I think it's pretty good.
I think it was when we were in high school, we had to be there. And
didn't want to be.
In college, you were either paying for it with your GI Bill or out of your pocket, and it was something that interested you in some way. So I think that's a huge factor, and honestly, we probably need to. I think that they need to start talking to kids way earlier about what they want to do, so they can lock it in. Because I didn't know what I was going to do after I graduated. I had no clue. I mean, it only took, I think, 1 year, after high school is when I joined the military. And that was on a bet. My dad's old business partner basically told me, you ain't shit. You couldn't make it through basic training. And then me and my buddy Max and our other friend Adrian, who ended up not joining, they all went to the recruiter one day when I was at work, and they came by and they're like, hey, dude, we got like an interview with the recruiter. Are you interested? And I was like, fuck yeah. And that was about it. I think I signed up within like 30 days, and we shipped out. I think we got them to delay our ship out like 6 months, and we just fucking partied as hard as we could for 6 months.
Well, you sound like me. But speaking of people, this is where I met this guy, Basic.
Yep. We were Charlie 138.
Fort Benning, Georgia.
Which is funny because that was our basic training battalion. And when I got to Fort Lewis and 4th Brigade 2nd ID, Charlie 138 was an active unit. They stood him up in between. So Charlie 138 was actually part of our brigade.
Dang.
Yeah. In fact, I think 2 or 3 people that we went to basic with, and I forgot his name. He was kind of a turd, but he was actually in Charlie 138, and I was laughing.
Dude, I remember when we used to go down San Antonio, the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
That was a day.
I used to fucking hang out with
Backpack
that.
full of beer.
Yeah. I used to go there by myself on the weekends, and like shaved head. I was fucking 180 pounds, fucking looking slick. I wore like a sports blazer with a skate shirt under it, smoking cacao cigars, reading the newspaper at the Riverwalk, thinking I was something.
Oh man.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, we're not as young as we once was, as Toby Keith said.
It's also when I figured the Alamo out, and I was like, "That's all it is. That's a tiny ass fucking building, just like one structure with a yard." That was fun though. I liked Sam Houston in general was pretty fun.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. That's where I went to my first comedy show, and it was Fluffy.
Oh, really?
Dude, that was Gabriel Iglesias.
Nice.
That dude was hilarious. That dude hooked us up. We had free drinks all night because of that dude. And then after the show, he said, "I want to see y'all in the back." So then we went in the back and met the dude. So that was pretty cool.
So did you go? Was it like MWR kind of thing where they had a group, or you guys just went there and he saw that buzzed head and he's like, "Them are recruits."
Yeah, he was like, he looked and he's like, "You guys must be military," and then we were like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Y'all stand up," and then after that, there were people buying us drinks all night, and then like towards the end of the show, he's like, "Hey guys, I want y'all to come around back when y'all done. You can follow that security guard right there," and we went in the back. I was like,
Nice.
"Dang," and we met and talked, and I mean, he was cool as shit, dude. So,
Hell yeah. I don't think I did a whole lot outside of partying at Sam Houston. I was under 21, but it didn't matter.
I was too, though.
Yeah.
We were all under 21.
I remember I went to the Hooters and like they didn't even card me. I think they just kind of knew the game. They're like, "Fuck it." You know, we were also balls deep in the war, so they're probably like, "These guys are about to deploy," which they were correct. I think I only had 6 months when I got to my unit, and we were like already rolling out. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, keep your stuff packed. We're leaving.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, I got to my unit. I did some we were involved in a JRTC rotation. We were the medical coverage. So like in the first week, I was flying around on Blackhawks with fucking ROTC cadets, mapping the earth because the pilots are trying to scare the cadets, but these pilots. They were either the 160th SOAR guys from Fort Lewis, or they were just very, very well-trained Blackhawk pilots. It was either one. And, dude, they were mapping the earth. I remember, like, the tops of trees hitting the bottom of the fucking Blackhawk. I was like, holy shit. And that was my introduction to being in the military. And I was like, this is awesome. And then we ended up kind of doing the same thing. When we deployed, we were striker units, but we flew around in helicopters most of the time. So that was always kind of crazy.
Hey, you got the fun gig.
Yeah. I would say it was a risky gig.
Well, yeah, risky.
But it was an experience. I always tell people I had a good time, surprisingly. I always try to look at it as if I'm going to get dirty, I want to be dirty. So if I was a medic and didn't go to the line and I wasn't with an infantry like platoon, why would I do that? I don't want to be in a hospital. So I basically spent 5 years as an infantry line medic with the same company, Bravo Company. And it was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
as a medic, you know, they call you doc, but you're treated as a god. I mean, you're untouchable. You're walking around with like the biggest security detail you could possibly have.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking crazy. They take care of you. knowing that you're the guy that's going to take care of them when
Yeah,
they need
I
it.
mean, it was to the point where, like, when you first get there, you still call your first sergeant, but after a while, I was Dave and he was Eric, because I was this dude. Like, wherever he went, if he went on mission, I went on mission. If he got out of the vehicle, I got out of the vehicle. He went on patrol, I went on patrol. I was like his hip. So
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, you get really close, and like when we get out, you don't have that brotherhood anymore, unless
yep.
you're
Well,
hanging around
you have a
with
false
bunch
you
of
have a
veterans.
false sense of it. I've also learned. So you think that your coworkers are like the coworkers you had in the military, and you find out real quick that they
You
are
got a
not.
knife in your back.
You
Oh.
get a knife in your back. Yep, I got basically fired by a guy I thought was my friend at my last manufacturing job, and we used to go out for drinks together every Thursday. Talk shit about the losers that try to get jobs there, because you get some crazy like crackhead like druggies that try to join, and it's, like, we would just make fun of the people that we were trying to hire. And one day, I guess I pissed him off, and he immediately went to HR and said that I need to be fired.
Wow,
That was
quick?
after almost 5 years, and there was no debate, no question. I couldn't rebuttal, no proof.
Wow,
Yep.
that's pretty wild. Didn't think
Yep.
they could do that.
Well, I mean, all I wanted was an explanation.
Yeah.
Why was I being fired? What did I say to him? What did he say I said to him, mainly? Because I don't think it was truthful. But now I guess they kind of regret it, because that guy's gone. He quit. And everyone that was involved is like my one friend that still works there, Jim, the guy that we're gonna have on someday. He's my local UFO expert. He knows
Can't
more
wait,
about
dude.
it. Dude, he knows everything. He watches all of it, and he knows everyone's name. He knows what videos, but he still works there. And he's like, yeah, dude, Brian, he always talks about you. He regrets, firing you. And I'm like, well, maybe one day I'll come back, but it's going to cost him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be at least $10 more than they were paying me, because now I don't have any faith in them.
Yeah. Never know if they're going to let you go tomorrow.
Right. Well, over no reason.
Yeah.
So, like the HR lady that fired me, she's gone. Like it's like the whole place got restructured, and I think that's hilarious. They deserve it, honestly. But they're all deep into like the microchip industry kind of production. They're working with that TSMC, whatever that big microchip factory is out here. They're setting up, but they're doing like all of the equipment to produce those microchips. So I think Jim, the last year, he's been on like 50-hour weeks in unlimited overtime with bonuses. So
Wow.
they're cranking that money out.
Dang. Yeah, man. Whenever I found out that you were willing to come on the show, and that possibly Jim, dude, I got some buddies. See the club, Kindred Vets is a club I ride with, and it's 4 veterans, just 4 veterans, and their spouses or whatever. But like we all ride together. One of the founders is Army Ranger, Cav Scout, dudes. Like,
Wannabe infantry, yeah.
But I'm just like when we get together, it's like that brotherhood again.
Yeah.
That sense of brotherhood, and you ain't gonna find it out like in the workforce. You're not gonna find it there. But yeah, that I was glad to get up with this group, because I watched this group take care of their own. Okay, one of the members had a bike accident. Okay, this lady plowed into this dude and then took off, like just hit him and took off, left him there, and they reported it to the police, and they still haven't caught this lady, being that they had traffic cams throughout Lafayette. So the club, what they did was we all got together, we donated money. We also had like club funds, and we put together a benefit ride. We made money for this guy, take care of his bills and stuff like that until he can get back on his feet.
Yep.
But I mean, this is what we do. The club is like brotherhood after brotherhood. When you leave the military, so yeah, it's a good thing that I found them. So
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'll try to make friends with people I know are vets, like in our workplace. But to me, it's a little different. Like, I still talk to a lot of my guys that I had. A lot of my platoon sergeant, I still talk to him. Most of the medics I still talk to. But I don't really go. I don't have a club to go to. I've been to a VFW. It's
yeah.
it's
That's
hard.
different.
It's hard. I would like for those organizations to be better. The problem is they're stuck in their way. And they see the young crowd come in, and it's that whole, oh, I had it harder. Oh, Vietnam was harder, because that's who's left. You barely get any World War II guys. And the ones you do are super nice, but they're also 90, 95. Wild stories. I had a guy telling me about how he used a grease gun in a bunker in Germany, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And sitting there trying to drink a beer with this dude that's probably fucking smeared like 30 fucking people in one day.
Yeah.
But then the thing I noticed was like the Vietnam vets, like when you walk in and they see that you're younger, they immediately are like judging. And it's like, dude, I'm just, what are we doing? Like, let's just drink some beers. And it's just like, oh, okay. Not all of them, but I did notice that with the VFWs that I've been to.
Yeah.
Because we wanted, the one that I was going to, we got basically a young leadership in, and they try to do like the whole, let's do UFC. We did a fucking bass fishing tournament that was like sanctioned. We actually had prizes and sponsors and all that, and it looked great, but then we didn't have enough people to keep it going because, like I said, I think it's kind of a dying idea, the whole social club aspect.
Yeah. I mean, tell you what, though. You ever get enough vacation, you can come on down. I got 3 bikes. You pick one. We'll go ride.
I've never even rode a motorcycle, but I'd give it a swing. I've ridden a dirt bike. That's about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you can ride a dirt bike, you can ride a bike.
Like I said, it's on my list, dude. My big thing is I know my brain. I need to stop drinking. Then I'll get a motorcycle. That's just...
Yeah.
Road sodas are fun, but probably not on a motorcycle.
Well, before you decide to leave Phoenix, I'm going to have to come visit you because I've never been to Arizona.
It's the Middle East.
The Middle East?
Yeah, instead of like, Farsi and whatever languages they're yapping, it's usually Spanish, but they look just like them. No offense, that's just true. All the birds are the same. They got pigeons, we got pigeons. When I first landed in fucking Iraq, I got out and I'm just like, oh, it's going to be exotic. Like, I'm on the other side of the world. And it was like the same sparrow, the same pigeons.
Arizona.
I was like, it's Arizona. it's hot as fuck, dry as fuck. Everything's poisonous.
Well,
I thought it was all a trick. I thought they were fucking with me.
Yeah, you just landed back in Arizona.
Welcome to the border. That's a weird type of Spanish you're speaking.
Oh, hey, dressed up just for the occasion.
Yep. I mean, when I say they look alike, it's, off of reason. My ex-wife, who was a medic as well, I met her in the military. Everyone that was Middle Eastern thought she was a Middle Easterner. Like, they thought she was Iraqi. And she's like, no, I'm Venezuelan and Mexican. They're like, oh. So...
Damn.
That was a good one, too. That's a good combo. 50% Venezuelan, 50% Hispanic, Mexican. I will say, I'm ugly, but she was fairly attractive.
Yeah. I never did. Heck, it was years, I guess, before I tracked you down. And let me tell you, you were hard to find.
I know, and when you told me that, I was proud. Because I try to keep very low profile.
I'm not going to lie, dude. I had people from DOD looking you up, like buddies of mine, because I was like, damn, did this dude fall? I hope nothing happened to him. I ain't heard from him forever.
Nope.
And I was like, then I seen your brother online, and I hit him up, but when I hit your mom up, she responded before your brother. Then your brother got back to me, and then your mom hooked me up. So
She was like, someone from the army's trying to get a contact with you. I'm like, oh shit, is someone about to kill themselves? That's the first thing that goes through my head is like, it's one of those emergency calls where you got to back someone off the side of a fucking cliff. Athena, I'm busy. My dog's laying her head in my lap because she's jealous.
You talking to somebody else other than her?
Yeah, that's basically it. Come here. Get on the webcam. Up.
Yeah, man, I was like, that's pretty... you were hard to find because you had no social media besides... Until you told me you had Instagram. And
That's the only one I really have, yeah.
But then you don't even go by your name, so that made it harder.
Boom shakalaka. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not like I intentionally tried to be hard to find, but I'm glad I am.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Got to keep a low footprint, you know. I say some crazy shit online.
Had to give me a challenge.
Yeah, there's some people I think about, like, remember, what was his name, Wilmer? That old, he was like 40.
Oh, yeah.
Bald. I always think about him. Wildy. I always think about Wildy.
Remember the old man? He was already in his 40s. He had gray hair. Like, we always called him Grandpa.
I think so, yeah.
Man, I forget his name, dude. Like, he joined, and he was already in his 40s, and he already had, like, a full head of hair, gray hair, and we always picked with him because we called him Grandpa. He's like, I'll show you, Grandpa.
Yeah, that was always an interesting dynamic to see, like, because that's when they kind of had open recruiting. Like, they were taking pretty much anyone, and it was just like, wow. I remember that there was one kid, I think he ended up being like an air traffic controller, but he sounded like Fez. He's like a little Hispanic kid, and his voice was like, it sounded like Fez from that 70s show.
Do you remember that old boy that came back from, it was Christmas? He came back from Christmas, and he told the drill sergeant, he said, I have to go to the doctor because his girlfriend gave him something.
No, but I am used to that one.
Oh man, I forget his name. He wore glasses. He was like 6'4". But yeah, dude, he's like, he kept scratching himself, and the drill sergeant got onto him. He's like, I told you toe the line, and he's like, I can't, drill sergeant. I gotta go to the doctor. It burns, and
he got himself a little bit of the clap.
Oh, dude, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
not really, but it was pretty funny.
You know, we got enough. We got drugs out there. We can get rid of most of them. Herpes, nah, but you got booger dick, you can get that taken care of.
You remember that old boy that was next to my bunk that had a bag full of candy?
Yes.
And we got smoked in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Isn't he the same one that, like, fucked up the rappelling course? And,
yeah,
like,
he was upside down. Yeah.
I remember him.
I was coming down right next to that dude, and he was upside down.
Yeah, he, like,
and would not let go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I always tell people about our whole basic training experience, because all of our drill sergeants just got off of, like, their deployments, and they were all, like, first-year invasion. Some of them were still active, like Drill Sergeant Brandt. He was just gone for half the rotation, and then showed up. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And he had his SF tab. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh, you remember our drill sergeant that came in drunk? He was a tanker guy.
Yeah, though I think, I don't want to say he was drunk. He probably was. But I want to say that he had, like, fucking straight up CTE from getting blown up so many fucking times.
Yes. They said he got hit so many times in that tank that he used to be in. It was bad. But
yeah.
I think he was going through a divorce at the time, too. And, like, that dude would be...
I can't ever think of his fucking name, but I liked him as a drill sergeant. I thought he was good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I have never seen... That dude, if he was drunk, and we're just not saying he was, but I've never seen a guy that can run around a formation while we're running at full speed, smoking a Marlboro Red, you know what I'm saying? And hollering at the same time.
Keeping cadence.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I remember that. I always remember him as, like, the tanker drill sergeant. It was just he was whacked out all the time. Super nice, until you fucked up.
Oh yeah. Yep. Had a little lisp.
That's that CTE creeping in right there. That's that disconnect in the brain.
Nah, but he was cool as shit. But yeah. Hell, man. You ever get those text messages randomly talking about you got a package in?
Yep.
And
it's always USPS too.
Yeah, always USPS, and it's telling you, hey, you need to complete this information or give your address or pay this. Yeah, but
failure of delivery. We need more information, please.
Yeah. So what I'm going to put on the screen for everybody that comes to the show is a list of these. So as you can see, here's some examples of what they're sending people, and they're usually the older people. No offense, usually fall into the category of being scammed, and this people is a scam. So,
I mean, I'm just looking at it and like how it is built, right? Like how the text is on that. Like pull it back up. Look how they write $3. I could be wrong, but
it's backwards.
Like the dollar sign is out in the middle there. I'm pretty sure down the bottom, reshipment is a hyphenated word. I'm pretty confident. But usually I look for that. No matter what, I'm not clicking any of this. If that's my package and it's gone, I'll deal with it. Yeah, I'm calling them.
Yeah, I'm not texting nothing, and it's sad, but a lot of older generation, they fall for this, and they need to be more vigilant. And I figure if I was to bring this out, just if one person sees this podcast, watches the show, they could spread this information to maybe their parents or their grandparents and be like, look, here's an example. Don't click on this stuff. This is just a clickbait to scam you. So.
Yep. And the best way to really look at it is the links, right? The actual link lettering. It's always USPS and then some garbage.com or their
random
URLs.
Letters, random numbers.
Their URL will be USPS.com. It'll be very specific to what their actual address is. So,
and the Postal Service will never ask you for information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they will never worry about delivering your package. Your package, if it's undeliverable, they're going to send that thing back to whoever sent it. Yep. And then whoever you bought it from is going to be like, well, they said it was undeliverable.
Correct.
So
they are pretty good though. They got one of my friends. He just ordered. What was it? Was it a PS4? Might have been the PS5. That one's out, right? I don't play console.
Yeah,
whatever
PS5.
The new one is. So he ordered the PS5, and when the day it was supposed to show up, they sent him one of those. And he fucking clicked it because he was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely my PS5." He's like, "That was the stupidest thing I've ever done." I'm like, "Yeah, no. Man, I get it though. You were excited, dude. You wanted a game."
And I think that when those came out, I think it was towards the end of COVID era. So, it was expensive on top of hard to get. So, yeah, I could imagine him getting that message and being like, "Oh shit,
I want to play that tonight." Click. Yeah, they're smart though. I mean, during COVID, everyone, stores were closed, but not online, so everyone's ordering crap. I mean, it's a smart move on their part. They know that more stuff is being delivered than ever before. They're gonna get, if they get a couple thousand, that's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Dude,
they could easily get.
That's what happened to our malls, man. Online shopping. That happened. Back in the 90s, we used to be able to walk through the malls, the early 2000s. I mean, you can still walk through some malls now, but
I think we got like 2 out of 10, and one of them is now an outlet mall. So it's like all the like returns and like You go there and everything's discounted. It's like, okay. And it was like the major mall they built in Arizona called Arizona Mills. And it's all just an outlet mall. It's
I'm kind of curious how the Riverwalk turned out. Being that all the online shopping, because I know when we were there, the online shopping wasn't very big yet.
Right. I mean, I hope it made it. I thought that was kind of a cool vibe, that whole area. Mm-hmm. We kind of have one here, and basically it's going to just turn into all restaurants, probably. But even that with DoorDash and all them, they're taking those out. Why go to a restaurant when you can just have the food ordered?
Yeah, bring it to you.
I mean, it's always lukewarm or cold. That kind of sucks.
If you live in an area where I'm from, there's no DoorDash.
No.
So you have to actually go to the restaurant. I guess that's a good thing about here. But I'm secluded. I live in the middle of nowhere. And the closest town's probably 8 miles. And I'm talking about town, not city.
Right.
So
I am in the heart of like ASU, basically. I wouldn't say the heart. I'm just on the outskirts. My entire apartment complex is all ASU students, basically.
Wow.
I'm the old, crotchety, drunk veteran.
Oh, dude. That's hilarious.
Everyone's like, oh, you got all the hot chicks. I'm like, yeah, dude, they're not looking at me. There's no fucking chance.
You're like Blue off of, what's that show?
Yeah, you're my boy, Blue.
Oh. Yeah, you're in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have a super nice pool, and I've been to it twice, and it's every time I go there, I'm like, God damn, I'm a loser. But, if they ever want a party, I'll fucking drink them under the table, probably. I am good at that, still.
Yeah, I can, not to brag or set myself up for anything, because I drank my 2 drinks a week. No. Nah, but I could tell you, I could put them down too still. And I've already put, like my brother thinks he could still hang.
Yeah. Me and Jim are the dynamic duo of when people want to have a party. They invite us, and me and him show up with a 30-pack each, and they're like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, I don't know. We're about to drink.
Yeah, what are y'all doing?
What is that? Some weird IPA? Check out this Miller Lite.
Man, I remember buying kegs, dude, and we'd float them.
Yep.
Whew.
Best keg I ever bought, Labatt Blue. I forgot where I found it. It's like Canadian. It's like a Canadian Pilsner, maybe an ale. But dude, it was smooth.
Hey, dude, I miss a good Hefeweizen, like a good German beer. I miss those.
You have to probably. I don't know how.
Crystal Weizen or a Hefeweizen.
Crystal Weissens are good. The closest thing I can get to like what I would consider probably a pure German Hefeweizen, obviously these pyramid ale, like all that. No, that's all like Americanized Hefeweizen, Blue Moon. It's this brand, I guess to be a brewery called Erdinger, which is imported from Germany, and they come in these really tall bottles, and there's like sediment in the bottom of it, like the yeast still, and it is delicious.
Dude, I tell you, a 24-pack at a Hefeweizen, like German beer, cost me $80 just for a 24-pack.
That's wild.
So I ended up I started brewing my own. It's been a while since I've done it, but like I used to brew my own beer. I'd do like 48 packs at a time, or like a case of 48, and I'd store them in the fridge, dude. I did dedicated beer fridge.
I did like one of those little 1-gallon beers once. It was I think it was just like a regular IPA, and that was okay. And then I bumped up to a 5-gallon batch of I think it was a Hefeweizen, and I think I gave myself a little food poisoning with that one. And right now, I always forget because I have them in a cabinet. I made a whole batch of mead. So I have like 4 bottles of mead that have been in my cabinet for probably a year.
So it's the honey mead?
Yeah, I did. It was like fucking 5 pounds of honey that you dissolve into water, and then I threw like blueberries and cherries in it. But I'm just letting it sit. I'm gonna see how long, because supposedly it gets better tasting the longer mead sits. So I'm just gonna let it sit in that cabinet.
Heck yeah. Dude, I almost done some mead, but then I was like, I wonder how blueberry wine would taste. So then I made like 5 gallons of blueberry wine, and I'm telling you, dude, like that stuff was so good. I gave bottles away.
I don't know where they all went. They were all gifts.
But yeah, so like I had the cork. I got the corker. I got corks. I got the little the little heat sleeve where you heat it up and it closes. I got it legit, dude. I had stacks in my fridge. I got a dedicated beer fridge, and I still got some watermelon wine I made. But that's a hard wine to make, the watermelon. But the blueberry came out, dude. It was so good, and it didn't.
I wonder
didn't
if
take much.
like blueberries, that little film on the outside is actually a yeast. I'm wondering if that helps at all.
What I did was I boil it. Okay, so it breaks down the outside,
Right.
and then after I boil it, I let it cool to room temp. I put it in my bucket, and then I put the yeast in. When it comes to room temperature, I stir it, and then you add your sugars and stuff, and then you put it in, and you put your little cap on where it doesn't let air in.
Yep.
And you let it sit there. Then you can, however long you want to keep it there. Then you put it in the next container, but you strain it. Then you let it sit for a longer, and then you do it again, because then the sediments from that,
Yep.
you
just go finer and finer on your meshing.
Oh yeah, and then you get to where it's like crystal clear, no sediments, and then you bottle, and then dude, I could put you, that one bottle could have put you under the table.
I think I would do more of this stuff if I wasn't in an apartment. I am limited so much by having an apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, the room.
Even like the whole bait making stuff. I can't. It's hard to melt down the plastisol in my microwave in my apartment.
The smell, dude.
Yeah.
The smell alone probably gets you.
Yeah, my dog even looks at me like, "What the hell are you doing?" And like, we'll go to the other room, and I'm like, "Oh, it's that kind of poison or that kind of toxic." Even the dog's fucking out.
What you should do is get you one of them hoods with the vents that go to your window. And it's like a little air duct, and you just pick your window up, and it's like gap, fills the gap with the hose going out. And as you're mixing you put it on a cooker.
Yeah.
Like my buddy got like a little stove. He does it every once in a while. But the microwave works well. But you just got to do it outside, and you're in an apartment. So
yeah, I got one window. So.
Oh wow, you're taking it all in.
Yeah, when I was making all those baits, we were renting a house, and not any better, because we rented out the entire basement, which was like fully furnished, not furnished, but finished. They had walls up and flooring. I could kind of vent it in my little escape hatch window, so that kind of worked.
Dang.
That was always fun. I enjoyed making things and going and actually catching fish with them and going, it worked.
Yeah, dude, I checked out your videos. That's pretty cool. Like, I've had a little experience with making a few baits, and like I showed you before the show, a couple of the molds and stuff. But like when I checked your channel out, I think, dude, if that's what you like to do, I think you need to stick with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
I definitely I want to get into kind of like what your buddy would like me to do. I need to sit down and understand like the SolidWorks program so I can make the 3D models myself. Because if you can make the 3D models, any programmer can then put that into code and make the program to make the mold. I just need to be able to make the actual model.
On the CNC machines?
Yeah. Making the model is 90% of the work.
Yeah. Let's see, can't you can't you design it in AutoCAD and then
Yeah, basically
change
that's
the
what.
file for your CNC machine?
Yeah, that's basically what like SolidWorks and Mastercam, all of those are basically like a 3D CAD modeling program.
Well, heck,
It's
dude,
just
I
what it's
seen
what I have. It's what I have access to. Like we have full versions of it at work, so I don't get like the limitations.
I've seen some of your molds. I mean, heck, you ain't far from getting it. You know?
We even got a 3D scanner at work which does reverse engineering, so I can take like a bait, scan it, flip it over, scan the other side, and then I'll take that 3D model of the two halves and I can put them together and then save that as a actual model. So I have the capabilities. I just haven't sat down in my
And
own
play
time.
with it.
Yeah. If I do that on the clock, they might not really like that. So
They might shun you.
yeah, they might look down upon such things.
Oh man.
But,
Yeah,
dude, I might take a like a jig. I can't think of what it is. What they're actually called. Like it's like the soft plastic bugs. Maybe I'll take one into work and see if I can get it scanned.
I can tell you right now though, you can make some extra money doing those molds, because
Yep.
that buddy of mine, when he hit me up, he's like, dude, check and see what your buddy, if he can make them, because he's sending his off to some other state somewhere and having some made for I don't know how much, but he pays whatever, you know.
I could easily see the initial modeling and then first unit easily $1,200-$1,500. After that, everything's made. Now you're just buying material and time.
Yeah.
And that's how, that's the original goal was I wanted to make baits, like, as a second income and make molds and sell the molds. Because, if you get it down where it's a good mold and you sell it for $150, you only need to sell, 10 units, you're in the green.
Yeah.
And after 10 units, it's almost all profit outside of material. And then people are out there, they're using a bait that you made. That's cool.
Yeah. I know I would buy a couple because I'd probably give them to the boys and let them make baits,
Yep.
So
I'll probably look into seeing if there's some way to get a modeling program. Like, my computer is pretty based. I could run some really good modeling programs on this one. I got nothing but time. I mean, I'm single. I live alone. I mean, you see how much I play games. That's half my life is playing video games.
Hey, dude, if that's what you like, do it. Because I like playing games, too. And I wish I could just do that, like, say, the podcast. I enjoy doing the podcast, man.
Yeah.
On top of the podcast, I like playing games. But, as an American, I have to go work, you know what I'm saying, and make a living because I can't afford some of this stuff, unless I do. But I think your baits, like I watched your videos. What's the name of your channel again? So
Behemoth Baits.
So Behemoth Baits.
Let's see if
So
I can look it
if
up.
you're watching this podcast, look it up, and he'll probably bring it on the screen here in a second. But he just needs to continue on.
This is also, I mean, we're talking, when was the last post? April 15th of 2021. So it's been a minute.
But you enjoy it, don't you?
Yeah. So here, this is that. Like, here's this is a swim bait prototype that we were gonna machine out, which he still has these files. Obviously, the old classic go-to stick bait Cinco style. I wanted to make exaggerated ribs, because underwater, those ribs are going to help the action. The water coming off those ribs, and maybe it'll jiggle a little more. Who knows? But these
it depends on the softer plastics too.
These are the ones that we designed and made the mold of, which is that, like, I called it a paddle tail.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing is this little piece right here. I need to up it just a little bit because
It'll break off.
a fish bites that tail and not the hook, that tail's gone.
Yeah.
It'll still, it'll still function as like a finesse bait, but like this is actually it being machined. So I have access to basically fifth axis. I mean, we have like 3 of them at work. But
That's a cool machine right there.
Yeah,
that's water jet. Like,
no, that's actually a tool in metal. So that all that white fluid is coolant.
Okay.
This was my little setup I had when I was doing it. Those were the days. But yeah, I mean, it's on my list. All that stuff is in storage containers in a closet, just because I don't have the room. And like I said, I might go ahead and toss the old fish tank. It's fun. I like having saltwater fish tank. The fish are cool, but it's also like kind of scary. I got 40 gallons of water next to me. I forgot what that adds up to in weight, but it's all being held on a particle wood stand. It's like 500 pounds of water. And it's like, I don't really trust that fucking stand.
One day you could be wearing it.
Yeah. I mean, I took my computer off the ground. It's up on my desk because I thought, like, if my tank goes and it takes my computer out, I'm going to be fucking pissed. So
that'd be horrible.
We'll see. Like I said, it's, I could buy a workbench for, a couple $100, take the tank out, and I could basically, how I'm set up, I could live stream my workbench. Yeah. So that could be cool.
Dude, I even thought about getting like the little CNC machine, where you can do like one, you can do one little plate at a time. But I mean, hit that thing and while you go cook or something. I don't know if you cook, but if you do, set that machine up where it's going, go watch TV or go game or whatever. Let that thing eat.
Yeah, I mean, for like personal use, that'd probably be good. But like, if you're trying to produce baits, you're gonna need. Even the ones you can buy online are like a little small. You need to be able to inject probably 12 to 20 worms at a time.
But you got to start somewhere, though.
Correct.
If you start big out the gate, then you lose money. I mean, you could be in the real in the black or the red,
Yep. I will say that is one benefit of where I work is now I don't need to find a machine shop. I don't need to buy a machine. I get the material at wholesale because I'll just order it through the company. I'll have them take it directly out of my check, and they'll just order, a couple blanks.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
We'll see. I know everyone at my work is very aware that I want to make molds. I let them know about it all the time. So
yeah. Hey, did you see in the news recently that President Donald Trump orders, like, you done an executive order to declassify JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King assassination files?
Yes, I did, and I think it's about time. Most of the people that were involved are probably dead. I'm curious. I would like to know if our government was nefarious.
Yeah.
They serve us. I want to know what they did. And if they didn't do anything, good. Let that be a thing.
If they didn't do anything, why did they keep it so long? So,
it's kind of like if you're innocent, what are you hiding?
Yeah. So I'm going to put on the screen. All right. This is from the whitehouse.gov. All right. So as you can see, it's a fact sheet for declassification.
From 4 days ago.
All right. So let's see. Present a plan within 15 days of full and complete release of all John F. K. assassination records. And then they will review the records and then complete release within 45 days.
So that'll be 15 days from that date is the 7th, which is a Friday of next week, is when they need to present the plan. Mm-hmm. So we'll know more next Friday, hopefully.
It's been so many conspiracy theories about this. I mean, even growing up, man, let's see, yeah, JFK, I believe it was before our time or when we were little kids. Let me
I mean,
see.
it was. I thought it was in the 70s.
If it was, that was definitely before our time
Yeah.
because, and it's been that long, and we couldn't get answers.
Yeah, I mean, par for the course with the government. Just like with the little coof, the COVID thing, where they wanted to basically hide the records for 60 years. Why? Why? Why 60 years? It's the same thing with this. Why hide the records so long? It's happened. It's already over with. We should be informed. They'll tell us everything we want to know about pointless stuff.
1963.
Dang, I was wrong. That's the 60s.
1963, and we still have yet to get an answer. You know what I'm saying? So, if they're going to withhold information that long, that just leads me to believe that it was our own government. It didn't meet their agenda for what he
Right.
planned, and that's what happened.
Yep. That's 64 years, roughly.
That's crazy. And then,
even the MLK stuff, too, I would like to know what happened. I don't think the government wants the African American community to find out. They already have enough fucking gripes with them. So if they find out that the government assassinated MLK, shit's gonna hit the fan. They're gonna be mad.
well, I think everybody would be mad, though, because the government's supposed to work for us, the people.
Right.
And withholding information like this, and you could say for our best interest, but
Right.
it's
For the
pretty
greater
much for
good.
your best interest that you're not telling us.
Right.
So, but yeah, dude, I'm curious. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to hear what they got to say because I know. Remember what Robert Kennedy? Not the first RFK, but the one that's over the Food Administration now.
Yeah. RFK Jr.
Yes, and he wants to know. You know what I'm saying? He, being where he is, he doesn't have access to this, so that it's got to be something to do with the government.
Imagine walking the hallways of D.C. shoulder to shoulder with some of these people that might still be alive that killed your
signed off.
family.
Yep.
That killed your family. There's some dusty dudes that are older than dirt still in the government that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. Heck, Biden, he's been in there for 47 years.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I think that's what they said. 47 years in the government.
He did so well.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand why people voted for him, because if someone spends so much time within the government and they have nothing to show for,
Right.
why would you vote for something? Because they're not going to change anything now. They didn't change anything back then.
The polarization of our society is absolutely astounding. That was it doesn't matter who vote blue or whatever their little saying was. They don't care. It wasn't a Republican. We're voting for him. We don't care who it is. It's one of the stupidest, most self-destructive courses that you can take.
Don't you find that it was like the government had separated us so much after 9/11? Like, so, like, say when we were in the military, right? As we were getting out, that separation was happening. And when I say separation, I'm talking about your political views were being separated. Like, if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're conservative, liberal, whatever, they used the government uses this against the people that
Yep.
separate us. And
They would rather have us bickering while they do nefarious, dark stuff.
what gets me is that it's separation, because I had a guy talk to me about, he's like, dude, I've been on a dating app, and he's like, I don't know what to do. These women are crazy. He's like, they want to know what I am. I said, what are you talking about? What you are? He's like, they want to know if I'm a conservative or if I'm a Republican. I'm like, really, dude? That's what they asked for now?
Yep.
I was like, he's like,
They want to
yeah,
know
dude.
out the gate, who'd you vote for?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter.
I'm like,
And here's the thing. Then if you say it doesn't matter, they immediately go, oh, Trump. Like, that's their, they know.
Yep,
They
that's
know.
their go-to. Why can't we all just get along, man? It's just the government, they need to realize they work for us and not the other way around. And then until the people stand up, and the government's downsized, we're going to stay in this rut.
Yep. I'm sure you heard Trump was talking about how, like, they hired a ridiculous amount of IRS agents right before Biden got out of office.
Dude,
and he goes, we're currently making a plan to either fire them or maybe we'll send them to the border. He goes, they are able to carry firearms. Maybe we'll send them down to the border. And I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Dude, that is insane. Like, you give all this money to other countries, but you won't help the people in the United States. And for an example, North Carolina. Have you seen?
That's been a thing where there's more videos, current videos about North Carolina because the whole LA fire thing. Everyone's like, that's great, LA's on fire. What about North Carolina? And you think in your mind, I'm so far away from it. It's the other side of the country. I was assuming the roads are probably decent now. Like, they might have started rebuilding some bridges. Nah, it's still like day one. It is. There is nothing has happened.
No, them people are intense. I looked it up, man. Like, I looked it up because somebody, they've been on the media. They're talking about, oh, Hollywood, or oh, California, oh, this. And then somebody put in the comments, how about North Carolina? Did everybody forget about that?
Yeah.
And then what about FEMA? Okay.
That's a garbage organization.
What? Okay, so the people were complaining about FEMA because FEMA was hoarding the resources, and they wouldn't give them to the people. All right? So
the resources were coming into the area to FEMA, who would then put them in warehouses, and then they weren't able to then distribute the resources from the warehouses. So there's food, water, medicine, aid, all that just sitting in warehouses because FEMA doesn't know what to do.
They probably ordered not to do anything, to tell you the truth.
I think there's just so much red tape and like low-level bureaucracy where it's like, whoa, what are you doing? You didn't come through me. I didn't clear, like those kind of people. I think those are extremely prevalent in all of these little federal organizations where it's like, nah, dude, I'm just going to go drop off all this water over here, in this neighborhood. Well, I didn't approve it. And it's like, get out of the way. You're in the way. And then they take it personally, and now they're like, you know what? We're not delivering the water. They'll, it's the government. These people, I know they exist.
If
And
they
then,
exist in the workforce, if they exist in the workforce, they exist in the government.
Yeah. And there was that one story about where that FEMA representative, one of the higher ups, was like literally briefing people on if there's Trump signs or American flags in the yard, skip them. That is insane. And it's like there's evidence of that being said to the workers.
That's messed up.
It's
It
crazy.
doesn't matter who you are, who you vote for. You're an American. You know what I'm saying? You take care of each other, and that's how it is, man. And I tell you what disappoints me is that the government, I'm not going to say we, but I'm going to say the government, will take care of other countries before they take care of their own people.
Yep.
Because it's about what fills their pockets. And we do not fill their pockets like other countries.
And I am all for cutting all foreign aid. You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
The whole world does nothing but talk shit about the United States. But we're giving them money. And then they know it. And they openly say thank you. But also fuck you. And it's like, all right, cool. We want to do that. No more aid. See you later.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can't do that. No, we can. We're doing it out of the kindness of our heart. And you're sitting there being kind of dicks, you know? So stop giving them money. Everyone. Not just Ukraine, not just Israel. Everyone. Just stop. Let's do like a 4-year pause and bring all the money back to us, solve our problems, and then we can maybe look around and go, who actually supports the U.S.? Do they need help?
Yes.
We don't need to be giving money to Haiti. Did the Clintons and Hillary really mess up that country? Yes, they did. You know, it's been a couple years. If you guys can't figure it out, I'm sorry.
Yes. Dude, I'm all about I agree with you 100% because we need to take care of us. We need to secure our borders better. How about, now I did hear in the works that the United States is creating an iron dome like Israel, okay, for our borders. That's in the works. But
I'm all for it.
I think we need to redirect our money and help out us. And when I mean help out us, how about cut our taxes? World War II, they put to where they created a federal tax, all right, to help fund the war. That was supposed to end after World War II. That did not end. You had greedy politicians that were like, hey, you know what? We're getting some money here. So how about we continue?
They like that honeypot,
You know what I'm saying? So people made it a freaking career sitting over there in their chair, doing nothing but making bogus bills. And that's why I agree with also the 4-year term, or what do they call it? They're trying to do, instead of being a lifer as a politician, you're going to have term limits, okay? And then you're out. Like, if we don't like you, you're gone. You're not going to sit there, go in, and you're making $200,000 a year, okay, as a politician, and you have nothing to your name. What you have is $200,000 to your name. But when after 4 years, you're a multi-millionaire, you're doing insider trading. I'm sorry. You're doing insider trading because there's no way you're going to make that kind of money.
I agree. And then they'll always say, oh, I'm not doing that. Well, that's crazy because your stock portfolio is better than Warren Buffett's. You're hedging bets that outplay the smartest investors in the world. Like, the classic person, Nancy Pelosi. Her and her husband's betting in the stock market is better than like the S&P 500 and how much they're making back. How do they do it? Are they marketing geniuses, or are they using the information that she's privy to make choices? I mean, and then of course they'll look you right in the face and say, "No, I would never do that." I don't believe you.
Well, they built a career on lying. Why tell you the truth now?
Yep.
But
yeah, well, I mean, and I'll even throw them a bone. Term limits, but after 8 to 10 years, you can do it again. Make it where there's a big gap. Because the biggest problem, I don't think you should be able to run again. Because the problem with getting elected and then having to basically try to get elected the next term, half of your job is you running around pumping yourself up. You're not doing your job, you're campaigning.
Yeah.
So that needs to stop, because if you work for 2 years but you spend the other 2 years campaigning, you're only doing half the job.
You don't get paid for those 2 years.
If you're campaigning, you no longer are getting income.
Yep. You'd be treated just like the American people. That's what you should be. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to sit at home instead of be at work, you don't get paid.
Yep.
Are you going to be at a set salary? That's what you get. If you, if you suddenly become a millionaire, you need to be investigated. You know, something happened.
Get them on hourly. Make them clock in. How about when you're in DC working, you'll be paid. If you're not in DC and you're not working, you're not clocked in. You're not getting paid.
Yeah, you're not going to use taxpayers' money to go on a vacation either.
Right.
So, yeah,
I would love to go on vacation. You know?
Yeah, dude. It's been a couple years since I've actually done that. My vacation is at this house. When my kids are over or something like that, then I'll take some vacation, and we don't go very far. You know what I'm saying? It's rare. So yeah, for politicians to use our taxpayers' money to let's go to Hawaii or let's go to Europe, spend thousands of dollars, and then we'll just stamp it off as a
work related trip.
yeah, we're visiting the I don't know.
So why were you in Ibiza? Yeah, I had some meetings. No, no one has meetings in Ibiza.
Yeah. And I'm gonna write these drinks off. We had a meeting.
Yeah, the last time I went on vacation was probably three years ago, and I go up to Portland, basically Washington Oregon border on the Columbia, and I do salmon fishing. It's been 3 years, and that's mainly because the new place I work at, they would only give you 40 hours a year of vacation time. And then they're very intelligent, and they go, that's also your sick time. So I only had 40 for sick time and vacation. And I go, by the time I'm through the winter, there's at least 2 days that I've had to probably call out. Every winter, someone gets sick. So they changed it up, and now we're up to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I would right now, I wouldn't go back up to Oregon probably. It is fun, but I will say that I have now caught enough salmon for a lifetime. I've killed hundreds of salmon. I really want to look into this place in Mexico, which with the current
Rainbow
political
bass or
no, that's South America. That'd be cool too. Peacocks.
Peacocks.
There's a lake called Lake El Salto, and it's world renowned. And it's the bass are massive. Your average is 5 pounds, and it goes up to 10 to 12 easily. But it's kind of in a shady area, all the fun that comes with Mexico.
Well, if that's what you want to do, I got a place. It's about almost 2 hours away from me, and only because of where I work and who I work for, I can get on this place. But the bad thing is, you can have a John boat, you just can't have a motor on it. You can use a trolling motor, but the bass
Electric
average bass 8 pounds, double-digit fishes all day. You know what I'm saying? Bass.
I'm listening.
I'm just saying it's not Mexico, but it is as long as you're with me.
I wonder if it's Lake X.
It's not. It's actually like a large pond.
It's a cooling pond for a power plant.
It used to be.
Yeah. Those things are gold mines for bass.
But dude, they told me the other day, they were like, "Yeah, man, you can go fish up there still." I was like, "What?" They told me you couldn't. They set a deadline because I was already planning to go over there, and then they were like, "No, man, you can go." I was like, "Oh well, heck, I got a John boat and I got a bass boat. You know what I'm saying? I could take the John boat and I got the trolling motor on it." So
when you one up them, you throw a fucking fan boat in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what you got with that Walmart fan?
No, you gotta get an LS6 on a fan.
And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Walmart, so just scrub that
fine.
one.
I wish I was. That's where I've now downgraded most of my grocery shopping to a Walmart because it's the cheapest.
Dude, I need to be sponsored by some kind of beer or whiskey. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here, drink, and talk on this podcast and drink whatever beer you want me to drink or whatever whiskey you want me to drink.
You got to find a local one. Like out here, we got Four Peaks Brewery. It's our mountain out here. One of them's called Four Peaks. Be like, yeah, dude, let me drink your beer. You give me a case of beer a month. You're gonna need more than that, but
Yeah. Well, they do have like a spirits place where they create their own liquor. It's probably about an hour down the road. You can tour their facility and sample their products.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd have to get.
I do like sampling product.
Oh, what? I went to the was it Jack Daniel's facility? That was interesting. I got to sample all types, and I never knew there was different levels of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
All I knew was the number 7 bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's definitely different ones.
But, dude, I was like, there is one that was so smooth. And, it was the Frank Sinatra. It was a Frank Sinatra edition Jack Daniels. That's $180. It was $180 a bottle when I was there. I bought one, and it was like half a gallon. Dude, it was a smooth Jack. That was the top of the line, and it was great. But I just couldn't fork out $180 every day.
Right, that would hurt. And the Jack world, obviously the original is always good. I like a good Jack and Coke. Actually, if I ever fly anywhere, that's the first thing I get is a Jack and Coke on the plane. I think single barrel is like the only other one that I've ever really had at a Jack.
You know, they make like when I was there, I didn't even know, but they make one that's similar to moonshine. I was like
a white, like a clear.
Oh yeah, it's like potent, dude. Like I forget how many proof it was, but they're like, yeah, we saved this one for last, and it's it's the strongest we make. And I was like, smelled it, and I was like, whoa, son, pure alcohol.
Nice.
I like downed it, and you could feel the burn. And I was like, I never knew. Like I was enlightened that day.
Nice. Yeah, we got a few spirit places around here. Mainly it's all breweries. We're like a pretty popular brewery place. We got, I don't know, probably 30 of them just in the valley. They're all pretty good, but, all beers have just steered towards IPA, hazy IPAs, which I'll drink IPAs, I don't care. But it's like there's other types of beer we could be brewing, and everyone's just all in on IPAs, and it's like, all right, let's expand the catalog.
Yeah, I like a slight bitter. I don't like an overly bitter beer.
You don't want to drink a Christmas tree.
Yeah, no. But I could drink about any free beer.
Yeah.
Free.
I usually, me and Jim, we usually go to any of the festivals together. So we'll go to we have one out here called Strong Beer. And I think last year there was 95 different breweries at it. And it's at like this big old, field. At a casino, they have like a big grass field for events. And it was just, we get VIP tickets. We get there early. And you get like 100 tickets. And they serve you like the little 3 ounces at a time. But halfway through, no one cares about the tickets anymore. Because they don't want to haul all that shit back. They want to empty whatever they have. It's lighter. They got to carry it. So about halfway through, you're hammered because it's strong beer is the name for a reason. These are all they're all above at least 5, but they go up to like 13, 16%. But it's just fun to have the ability to go to 95 different breweries in one day.
Yeah. Same location?
It's all in the one field. You just hop around. You kind of find out what you like, and then you just kind of bounce back and forth. I usually wear full lederhosen whenever I go to anything.
I think I've seen you in that before.
We always go to Strong Beer. We always go to Oktoberfest.
Dude, I went to Oktoberfest in Germany. All right. Munich, awesome. You know what gets me, though? I never would have thought they had roller coasters and rides at Oktoberfest. But
They like
do.
put them together, or are they permanent?
I don't know. Like they're there. Like they're there. You get on the ride. Like I had my that big old mug. All right, you have to hold this thing when it's full. You have to hold it with two hands.
Right.
And you got people
It's like
bringing them out.
it's like a 2 liters of beer.
Oh, dude, I got one. I got one of those mugs. But I'll tell you what. When I got there, me and a couple of buddies, we were like, "What the heck? There's rides here. How do you mix beer and rides?"
That's a dangerous combination. Let's shake up that carbonated beer in your stomach a little.
Oh, they do. Man, there's beer tents everywhere. I mean, it's crazy. But you know what? You never see anybody fighting. There's no one fighting. They're all having fun. They're all singing. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. Like,
yeah. I don't like that, the idea that, like, the American social scene is the cause of that. But, I don't know, dude. You go out at night here, downtown in ASU, you're going to either almost get into a fight, or you're going to watch someone fight. And it's just, like, the mentality of, like, I don't know. Everyone out here seems to get butt hurt real easy when they get drunk.
yeah.
So, we have our specific bars we go to, and they're usually hole-in-the-wall fucking dive bars. We avoid that whole cool kid
College scene.
Yeah. I mean, we've been to a college bar, and all of me and my friends group were like, wow, we're old. Because you can't talk to anybody. They're using terms you've never heard of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
No
I've come
cap.
across that.
No cap. Riz. And you're like, what, dude? What the fuck is a Riz?
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's style.
Yeah, they've developed a whole new language, and it's every generation. Every generation has their own.
Which, I finally kind of see where my dad was when I was a teenager, and he was looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you saying?
Are you
Speak
gay?
English. Are you? Oh, man. Did you get to see what do you think about the ending the birthright citizenship in America?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think it has its purpose, but it's also a loophole that's being exploited. So that's where the term, anchor baby, all those things kind of stem from that, where as long as they can get here and have a kid, that kid then has citizenship status.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're not a citizen, take your baby with you.
Yep.
See you later.
Yep. And I agree with that. And you did see where the federal judge tried to stop that. And
and of course, where is he from? Seattle.
Well, as of January 27th, and I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can see it. So, as of January 27th, it was Trump order ending birthright citizenship for illegal immigrants is constitutional. So, originally the federal judge was saying it was not constitutional to do this, but it's just it's like a jurisdiction phrase, or
the key phrase, which is always anything with key phrases, is interpreted in your favor depending on what side you're arguing. So of course they're going to overlook things that make their argument weak. Which demands immigrants' loyalties be to the U.S. and not foreign power. Yeah, it's true. And I see that here a lot, and I get it. Like, you're proud of your nation. Then why'd you leave it? They fly there. They're running around, they're protesting all this dumb shit, and they're flying Mexican flags. Then go back. You're so proud of it. Why'd you come here? For more opportunity? Then fly the American flag and be a patriot. But you're over here screaming for fucking rights, and then you're flying your flag. That you ran from.
See, that's what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? You want to be American so bad, but you're going to come over here and fly your flag? I
Right.
never understood that.
And it's like, well, they're just proud of their heritage. And it's like, if I moved to any other country and started driving around with the American flag, everyone in that country would be like, you're a fucking idiot. They would 100% tell you you're stupid. Imagine going to
Yeah.
Mexico and driving around with a lifted truck with American flags on the bed. Oh, I'm just proud of my culture and heritage. Yeah, right.
That would never fly.
Right.
That would never fly.
It's definitely seems like it's already getting better here. For a while there, I always used the QT, which is a gas station. Every morning you would go there and it would just be a plethora of lawn maintenance people, construction workers. No one speaks fucking English. They're all wearing orange vests. They're all in fucking beat up F-350 crew cabs with like a 24-foot trailer and just loaded to the teeth. Like one truck, 8, 9 people in it. And dude, like I remember one time they have this little, like the hot dog roller, but they have like taquitos on them. And I watched a guy grab it with his hand and then put it back on it. And I'm just like, this is fucking insane.
Negative.
They never know what they want. They're always in your way. But the last week, that QT's been pretty barren, which I'm good with. Which I get, it's winter, so Arizona winter, there's not a lot of lawn maintenance going on.
Well, you say a lot of it's barren, but there's also a thing that we were talking about last night is a lot of immigrants are being picked up by ISIS. All right. And you brought up Colombia, which I had no idea. I had to look it up, okay? And I'll let you speak on it a little bit. But I'm going to bring up the article. And let's see here. There you go. So
Yep.
Colombia. Now, yeah. So there was already military planes in flight to Colombia to bring migrants back from where they came from. And they were turned around by Colombia. And so this is what...
From what I understand, Colombia approved those flights before and then went back and basically changed their mind while they were in the air. And the whole reason is they're upset that they're being transported on a military aircraft. Well, guess what? Good. It's a federal crime to be here illegally. These aircraft are federal aircraft. Also, the C-17 is one of the coolest airplanes to fly on. It's not like a piece of crap. They're nice. They're well maintained. I don't know. I also look at, okay, if these are your best and brightest, don't you want them back? If you don't want them back, why? They're yours. What's wrong with them?
Well, you know what's wrong with them is a lot of them were released from the prisons
Right.
to make room. So
I find it funny that if they're not all criminals, supposedly, why don't you want them back? If they're good, upstanding citizens of Colombia, take them back.
they would have never left if they were upstanding citizens.
Correct.
So,
And I don't even fault them. That whole policy is a very smart policy. If I was in their position and America was up here like, yeah, bring them all in, I'd be like, get them out of the prisons. That's money that your government has to spend to house and feed and clothe them. Get rid of them. Send them up there. Let them deal with it.
Yep. That would be the first people that they would let loose.
Yep.
It makes sense.
I mean, it's kind of I think everyone does it, right? Like Russia's doing it. They're emptying their prisons to go fight in Ukraine. Smart move, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you live, all your charges will be dropped and you'll be a free man. Probably not going to live, but like,
Yeah.
your chances are pretty low.
I mean, your chances are about the same if you were in prison.
Yeah.
So, at least you have a chance to fight for your life at that point.
And they try.
So
They're doing their best. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is just funny to me. Like, these are smart people. Not really.
well, they're good at conning people for sure. Some of them, but there's another article that intrigued me, and I'm gonna throw this up there for you. It's Mississippi trying to pass a bill that would pay bounty hunters to catch immigrants without legal status. So, you can see the headline. Now, I don't know if this bill is going to pass, but if it does, now you have these registered bounty hunters that can, they get $1,000 reward for each successful deportation. All right. So
you only got to do 100 of them a year.
Well,
You're good. You're good to go.
From the sounds of it, is that they already have them. Either they already have them captured and you're just deporting them, or you're going to capture any undocumented and then you're going to deport them. But $1,000 per, that's. Whew.
Yeah, I watched like a small clip on. They were talking about how the feds did a raid on a immigration attorney's office and took all of his records. And I went, well, that's a hell of a way to get a name list.
Oh, no crap. No crap.
Jackpot.
Oh, dude.
Because that means those people that are on these documents are admitting to the idea that they're here illegally. That's why they're in the office. So they've already admitted to the crime.
Yeah. That's a good move.
That's smart, dude. That's a good
Checkmate.
Yeah. And of course, like, I don't know why this person thought that wouldn't happen. I mean, look how they did it with weed when they tried to legalize it back in the day. The government is going to find lists of people. If you are doing something that they don't like and you put names on lists, the government's going to come get that list. Yeah, but overall, I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, but all these jobs are, Americans are so lazy, we don't want the jobs that they're going to do. I find that to be kind of bullshit. We were doing fine before all this was a problem. Why would that change the outcome?
Yeah. It's
Dogs.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The way they handle things. What I'm looking at, I just received an email, okay? The DMV has been a nightmare for me, okay? So, my insurance company made a mistake, I think the end of 2023, where they accidentally showed they canceled a policy of mine, which I was unaware of, okay? But what they did was they typed something in and it showed that I canceled insurance and I still had a plate on it, my disabled veteran plate. And they said, I get a letter in the mail saying, from the DMV about 6 months later, saying, you owe us a penalty because you've had this vehicle that has a license plate with no insurance. I'm like, what? So I called the insurance company and they're like, oh, that was a mistake made. We can send the paperwork showing that you had insurance. I said, okay, do that for me. I said, because, I'm going to have to jump through hoops with the DMV. I don't know if y'all's DMV is the same, but...
No. They're basically sloths.
Man, oh, yes, just like that cartoon.
Yep.
Zootopia. But, dude, it's been a nightmare because between myself and the insurance company, we have sent several forms to the main office in Baton Rouge, and it's been a year and a half, and I just got an email after the third attempt, probably the fourth from the insurance company, but saying that it'd been cleared.
Well, at least it's over. It only took, 2 years, but whatever.
No, yeah, but if they wouldn't have cleared it, I couldn't renew my license, my driver's license. Okay? And I have a vehicle that I got rid of. I can't cancel a plate on because they had this on that vehicle.
Sounds like a lot of red tape. For you to do anything, you have to be in the right with them, which is wildly wrong.
It's been a nightmare, I'll tell you.
That's why Arizona, our driver's licenses expire in 2050. All of them. And then I'm assuming it's basically, you know what, it might just be off your birth date. But basically, yeah, I'm born in 85. My license is good until 2050. In 2050, I'll probably have to renew it.
I think we have to renew ours every 5 years unless they changed it with the federal one. So,
yeah, I try to avoid the DMV at all costs. Like, I go to the private title places if I have to go get title stuff. I'd rather deal with them than go deal with government workers that don't like their job but won't leave it.
Sure. Yeah, that's what gets me, is that you can go in and this person working behind the desk, like, oh, she hates her job.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's like...
They just have an aura of being miserable.
Oh, and they have such an attitude towards you.
Yeah.
You could be the first person in line, and they're like,
what
do
you want?
You need? I'm like, oh, my God. Dude, it's like, if you do not like your job, get out of there.
Right.
I know you deal with some people. You know what I'm saying? You have to deal with people. There's always some problem, okay? But if you wouldn't create the problem or make it so difficult for people, you would not have people irritated.
Right. Yeah, like, I have a problem with out-of-state plates here, but I also don't have a solution because I know it would have to go through the DMV and it would never get done. But, like, I'm at an intersection. I'm the only one that I can visually see with an Arizona plate. And it's just like and all of them are expired. So, everyone moved here from California and basically anywhere up the West Coast, they're all here. And it's just like, you guys, you're paying for the roads in your state while you're beating ours up. Like, there needs to be a 12-month window. If a cop sees you with a California plate, they log it. And they go, all right, that plate was here January 1st. And if you have been here over a year and your plate's still the same, I think you need to be fined.
Actually, I think at the borders, they should put cameras for y'all.
Yeah.
That way it registers automatically, updates it to the base for the PD. And then say, once it's registered in the state, if you're stopped or you see that plate again throughout the state and it comes up and it's like, 12 months, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you should question them. When's the last time? Are you living here?
They always try to pull I'm a student. All right, well, where's your student ID? Are you currently enrolled? Oh, I'm taking a break. Well, it looks like you need to register at the DMV. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, but even a student that's taking a break should have an old ID. You know what I'm saying? Or still a current ID, because it would be till the remaining year.
Yep.
They're not just going to be like, oh, you only get it for the so many months that you're here.
Yeah.
It's going to be for that year or for these 2 years. So
between them and the snowbirds we deal with, if I was ever governor, I'd have some changes. The snowbird thing, I got a pretty good idea. We should run it like hunting, where you get put into a lottery and you get drawn. All right? And there's only a certain amount of draws per year. Because the biggest problem we have down here is housing. I mean, across the U.S. is housing. But these snowbirds own all these homes, and they're only here 3 or 4 months of the year, and then their houses are empty. I would say probably 15, maybe not that high, 10% of the houses are empty all year because they're owned by old people that just come down during the winter because it's too cold in Minnesota. It's like, fucking, you can't do that. You're causing the housing problem. So I say lottery system. You've been drawn. You're allowed to buy a house here.
Dang. Is that bad over there?
Oh yeah, every winter It's like they call it the snowbird season. The wrecks go up because it's old people driving, and like you can physically see the difference in traffic. Like you leave 10 minutes earlier to work.
You know what's crazy is that causes your premiums to go up.
Oh,
Like
probably.
your state premium will go up because an out of towner got in a wreck.
Yep.
Dude,
I can see that.
Louisiana is horrible. Like, say you could be wreck free for over 20 years, and you're still paying like a half a house note for car insurance. You know, which is insane. I think insurance is a monopoly, and I think that okay, insurance is good, but I think it shouldn't be required only because if it wasn't required, then it would be cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
I also think that with insurance, they should pay out if you leave. Now, can they
Like,
keep a percentage of it? Yeah, you can keep a percentage, but I need to get back the money I've put into it and never used. If I switch over car insurance, I want my money back. Let them keep 15% of the total value, but give me back that 85%, and then keep it as like a pool. I don't know, because it seems like a one-way street, and if you're a good driver or you maintain your house well, none of these problems ever where you need to use your insurance policy. You're just giving them money for free, and then they turn around and try to deny you everything. Car, home, all that. They will fight you tooth and nail to say you're at fault. What's
yeah,
the point of having insurance?
yep. They like taking your money, but it's almost impossible to get it in return.
Right.
And they want to find every possible reason to be where they don't have to give you your money.
Yep.
That's
I was
what I like.
surprised. I got damage on the side of my bed, and I actually needed a replacement panel. I was blown away that the insurance didn't question it because the cost to replace the panel and paint was more than my truck is worth. And even the guy that was doing it's like, I can't believe they approved this. Like, your truck is not worth what I'm about to do. And I'm like, yeah, well, they did it.
Do you have the new like aluminum, or is it just steel?
I got like a 2006 Ram.
Oh,
So it's like
an older.
it's a steel side, like bedside, and like on those trucks you can take the sides off. So it's not like the entire bed. It's like
Welded.
yeah, it's not welded. You like remove 4 screws and like the side of the bed comes off.
Gotcha.
But it was something like total cost, like to get just that replaced and painted, it was like $9,700.
Wow. 9,700 for the bed, just the quarter panel.
Yep, and then color match.
Wow, that's high.
I think I paid $7,000 for my truck in a lemon lot.
You know what's crazy is I recently had bought me a it was 2023 Tacoma, and I'd say probably not even five. I didn't even have 10,000 miles on it, and I hit a deer. A deer ran out in front of me, and I tried to swerve to miss it, and it just seemed like it slowed down.
It
And
juked you.
I caught it in the corner of the front corner, and it cost me almost $9,000 for repairs. So
That's insane.
I was like, yeah. But
Did the deer die? Did you eat it?
look, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. So I pulled off to the shoulder to get out of the way from oncoming traffic. It was early in the morning. It was still dark. I got my flashlight and I shined in the middle of the median, and I was like, I looked, and he was just sitting there laying down. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna damage my truck and not go home hungry. So I got my knife and I was walking up on this thing, and whenever I got to it, I was maybe 4 feet from it, and I went to go reach my hand, and then this thing jumps up, starts hobbling, going to the other side. Here comes an 18-wheeler. I was like, uh-oh. And bam, hit that thing, dude. I could hear it crunch. I was like, oh, well, I don't think it's any good anymore.
It's now tender.
So I got in the truck and I drove around because I was like, man, I'm going to see if this thing's salvageable. I mean, but it sounded like it got him. But I drove around, I looked, I said, oh, dang, ground meat. I'm like, well, I can't do nothing with that. So, but, yeah, man, it was, I was disappointed
Yeah.
so soon. But I didn't want to waste a deer, but until it got hit by the semi-truck, you know, I'm not going to mess with it after that. And that truck kept on going like it never hit anything.
Yeah, you guys probably all hopped up on speed. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Oh, I missed something?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, out here, coyotes. Like that's about all we got. We have deer, but not in the city.
Yeah, we don't have many. We used to have a lot of coyotes, but now I see a comeback with the rabbits, the rabbit population. So that'll tell you that if you have a lot of coyotes, you won't have a lot of rabbits. But
we
out
have
here,
a lot of both. You
now
gotta like the.
is it the rabbits or is it the like Western style rabbits that you can't really eat?
It's the western ones. Do you mean the one with the worms?
Yeah, well, all of them have worms at some point until it freeze.
Right.
But I forget. West Texas has these. I don't know if they call them rabbits or
Like wild hare.
yeah, and they're like really tall,
Yep. Jackrabbits.
lanky, but they say they're almost useless to eat because
Yep.
there's not a lot of meat on them.
That's what we got. Their hind legs are super long.
Yeah, that must be it. Because I worked in West Texas for a while, and I was like, man, look at the size of that rabbit. And they were like, yeah, you don't want to eat that. There's nothing on it. I was like, disappointing.
Dogs, go lay down. The
But,
dogs are starting to annoy me. They obviously want to go outside.
all right. Well, I mean, if you're good with it and you don't have any more, we can come to a close to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Was it successful? I think it was
Oh.
fairly successful.
Dude, we almost got 2 hours in on this. An
Perfect.
hour and 47 minutes.
That gives you some meat.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. And, I appreciate it. Thanks again. And
Not a problem. We'll do it again. And like I said, I'll try to get Jim in on for the UFO stuff. Like I said, he knows all, like, any of the things that are going on in that whole world, he is tapped into.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. And I know a lot of people that have mentioned it too. They want to hear it too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll get with you after the show and we can see about when he would possibly be able to come on. So,
Yeah.
But as of right now, thanks for tuning in to BS and with Y Eagle Y, and we're going to come to a close. Stay tuned for the next episode.
See you later.